We are Brandon and Michelle Barber, and we just had the pleasure of being on Kim Sorrelle's podcast, and we were sharing some of our stories, some of the tools, some of the lessons that we've learned along our journey about resilience and about what makes working together so amazing. Brandon, what do you have to say about it?
Well, I have to say, I mean, I don't even know. They're going to hear in this upcoming podcast how Kim said we were amazing. It's hard for me to say, are we amazing? Oh my God, come on. We've done some good stuff. So, yes, we have done some good things. We've helped people in big ways, and we're going to be sharing those ways in which we overcame massive challenges, huge struggles, relationship struggles, as well as health struggles, as well as business struggles, and how we overcame those, and how we're absolutely just rocking it in the world today. And so, giving some tips and tools and skills on how to make that happen.
Welcome to the show. I'm so happy you are here. You are going to be so happy you're here. I'm Kim Sorrelle. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I just got to speak at the UN last week. I get to do so many fun things. But the thing that I enjoy the most is meeting people. And I meet some of the world's greatest people. And today I have Michelle and Brandon with me who we've kind of become friends, which I really like. We met a little bit ago and then we hung out on Zoom a little while ago. And they are two absolutely incredible people with so much knowledge and so much gold to drop today. You're going to love the episode. I'm so excited to have them. Michelle, Brandon, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Kim. It's so good to be here.
Well, I'm so happy to have you. Okay, so I know that people want to know you. I love it when people get to know like where you started, what got you from where you were to where you are today. And so I want to know about you guys as 8-year-olds. What was life for you like, Michelle?
For me as an 8-year-old, well, I grew up in England, and so my life was definitely a lot different. We had a lot more rain over there, so there was that. But but um, I was always very precocious. I think that was a word that my parents called me was precocious, and so always knew that I wanted more, and that's why I kind of ended up over here in the US because. I feel like there are so many more opportunities for people over here, and it was always what I wanted.
Yeah. So precocious. So you were probably smarter than your years. Did you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that my somebody told my parents don't ever try and get rid of her spirit.
Oh,
They just said she has this amazing spirit inside of her, and sometimes I think it was a little bit hard for my parents to control, but now I think they're happy with it. Not so much when
that's
they're
good.
trying to corral me, but now I think it's good.
Oh my gosh. I think that that's so interesting and so true. Like, I remember having kids and there was this book out about strong-willed children, and I just thought, oh, I hope I don't have a strong-willed child. But I liked that my kids uh stepped up. Like then I knew they'd be leaders, not followers.
Mhm.
And that's what you want. You don't want them to just go along with whatever anybody tells them. And so I'm sure your parents were probably keeping that in mind. Yes, we want her to be a leader, but we want her to behave. There's a fine line there somewhere to not break your spirit for sure. So yeah, well, that's really cool. And it's nice to be out of so much rain. So it's a good
Oh
thing.
my, oh my gosh, yeah. That's why we live in Utah, and so definitely we don't have so much rain here, so that's good. Lots of
Nice.
snow, but not rain.
Yeah. Okay, Brandon, 8-year-old Brandon.
Man, 8-year-old Brandon was a mess. He was a mess. He was wounded and hurt and pain for sure. My parents were young when they had kids, when they had me, and they divorced at an early age. So it created a lot of chaos. There was just a lot of chaos around me. Um, my parents they did the best they could, but there was a lot of neglect. So, what happens when you have those kind of things, you deal with them and You don't deal with them, at least I didn't in my teens and my 20s. I dealt with them in a very unhealthy way. And then in my 40s and especially my 50s, I start dealing with them in a more healthy way. So that's my 8-year old. I have to, reel my 8-year old in and not judge him and be nice to him and give him love and compassion because he still shows up. And when he shows up, things aren't good, especially with Michelle.
Yeah. Yeah.
When my 8-year old and her 8-year old show up together, she doesn't want to play with my 8-year old.
No, no. Your 8-year-old is sent home. You're not
And he
allowed to
runs,
touch
he
the,
runs
you're not
away.
allowed to
He's
touch the kickball. Yeah.
Yeah.
scared to death of Michelle's 8-year old. Man, she freaks
Oh,
him out. But the good thing we have
wow,
different.
that's yeah, totally different backgrounds, right? It sounds like just completely different backgrounds, and it sounds like you had to grow up younger than a lot of kids
Mm.
because of what happened in your life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the latchkey kid, I mean, anybody that grew up in the 80s, 70s and 80s, you become a latchkey kid and that was my thing. I did a lot of stuff on my own. I learned how to entertain myself, not in the most healthy of ways always, but definitely I got what it did for me is allowed me to get very, very um what would be the word? Creative or very very independent in learning how to figure things out. Like I had to learn how to figure things out and learn how to figure them out fast. So it helped me later in life when had to learn how to shave and had to learn how to, talk to girls and do stuff like that. Like I learned how to do that at an early age without the internet. So it made me resourceful, made me resourceful.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. So then I want to know, so you two totally different backgrounds, right? Like Michelle, you probably loved your childhood. It sounds like your parents were great and you were great as a kid. Brandon, kind of the opposite of that, just really tough growing up and your parents splitting. I mean that is so hard on any kid at any age, but especially when you're younger. And so how do two of you coming from where you came from, how do you get together?
I think it was fate. And the reason I say it was fate is this is do I believe in fate? I don't know if I believe in fate, but I know this. I was in a completely different industry than Michelle. I was in the telecommunications industry for years, and that's where I spent my time. And then Michelle was in radio. She's in advertising. And somebody said to me, "Hey, you ought to go into radio." And I thought that meant, hey, I could go be on the radio. So they said, hey, you have this good voice. You ought to go be in radio. I'm like, I could go be on the radio. So I went to a radio station and said, I'd like to be on the radio. And they said, that's awesome. So does everybody else and their dog. And I said, but don't you hear my voice? Like I could be on the radio, right? And they're like, why don't we do this? Why don't we put you into a sales job? And then we'll evaluate the whole radio thing, getting on the radio later. So I went to work for a radio station and went to sell for them. I was there for, I don't know what, Michelle, 4 months,
Mhm.
long enough to meet Michelle, ask her to marry me, and that was it. So I think that's funny because then I went right back into the telecommunications industry and I never got to be on the radio.
Wow, so that was your entire radio career, said and done in 4 months. You were only there to meet Michelle, sounds
I was
like.
only there to meet Michelle.
Mhm.
Yeah. So did you propose that soon? Like you saw her and it was love at first sight and you just won her over? Is that
It
what
was pretty
happened?
quick. It was
Yeah.
2 or 3 months. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was pretty
we
fast.
met in July and got married in December. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's so I love that story. I love it. I love it. I met my husband and 10 days later I asked him to marry me and he said yes.
Mhm.
And so I think there is just something about I don't this instinct when you go, wow, that's she's the one, he's the one. Like there's something different and something so amazing. How long have you guys been together?
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
And you still like each other.
Yeah.
We work together. So we work together and juggle being husband and wife at the same time, which is really tricky.
It is. It's an interesting dynamic for sure. I worked with my husband as well, and yeah, it's hard to get away from work is what I found. Like
Mm.
you even if you're not physically at work, you go home and you talk about work, and then you deal with work, and it's a whole lot of work going on. But
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved working with him, but we had our moments. There were
Yeah,
times.
there's a work version of us that shows up that I think is different than the spouse version, right? I think it's like the warrior archetype we might tap into at work, where then the lover is where we want to tap into with our spouse. And so sometimes the work version of us shows up in our relationship that's when the other person wants the spouse version or wants the lover version. So that's where it can get really tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I think one of the tricks, maybe you guys do this, but if you want any helpful suggestions from someone who did it for years and years, is if you just let the woman be in control and just do what she says, then there's really no room for argument. Everything just goes great.
Yeah. 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 I think we tried that for a while, and I don't think I think a little resentment kind of crept in, and yeah, I mean, I think it's been interesting because, with us both working, because I've been working with Brandon for 8 years now. And before I was very successful in my career. And I think what happened is because I was in my lane, I just did things how I wanted to do them. And so I've kind of had to really learn how to do things in a way that doesn't make us want to get divorced at the end of the workday. And so that's a bonus, right? I mean, just
Yeah.
even in my tone, in speaking, and just because I'm all about, like, let's get the business done and move on, and that doesn't work so well. So it's been fun navigating it, let's just say that.
Yeah, well, I would imagine after 8 years, you decided that it's working for you, because if after a couple years it wasn't, you probably would be in different places. So 8 years, that's some longevity to be working together. Hats off to you guys. And so you make it work. And I have to say, for everyone listening, um, when you meet someday, hopefully you do in person, get to meet Michelle and Brandon. You guys are so good together. There's just no doubt that you belong together. The way you look at each other, I saw you on stage, and even when one of you is talking and the other one is looking, just there's just a super wonderful, beautiful connection that you see between the two of you, and I love it. I love seeing it. So it's a good thing. You obviously are together for a reason.
I think so. and
We
and
appreciate
thank you.
it's hard when you're both stars and you both want to be stars. Two
Hmm.
stars can collide and like dim each other's light. So being able to give the other person their light and be able to let them shine while you want to shine at the same time, it's definitely been a challenge, but it's worked. It's definitely worked. I mean, I started our coaching business 25 years ago, so I'd been running it for a long time before Michelle came in, and um, sometimes she forgets that we were doing things successful before. But at the same time, I know she upgraded us at a whole other level and made us more professional and helped us pivot in a time when we needed to pivot.
Mhm.
Mm, wow. Well, that's good. Yeah, which is also a wonderful thing in a couple when you both have strengths, right? And you can both bring them to the table, and you're stronger together than you are apart. Even if you're great apart, there's something wonderful when you're stronger together. And the whole star thing, I think too, when you really love somebody, you love seeing them shine, right? So it's not like it takes away from you because they're shining, because they're really kind of a reflection of you at the same time.
It's
That's a
true.
great point. Yeah, that is a good
Yeah,
point.
so that's cool. Okay, so coaching. So Brandon, what you had a very short-lived radio career, and then when did you start coaching?
It was 25 years ago. It was back when people would say, "What team do you coach for?" And I would say, "The team of life." And they would hang up on me, back when we used phone. Back in my day. Um, but yeah, it was a long time ago. It was before coaching was really even a thing, and people were now everybody's a coach and life coaching is just a deal. Back then it was still very new and still very fresh. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun building a coaching business when people didn't really even know what coaches were. I remember having to say, we'd have to give statistics on coaching, and here's the value of coaching, and here's who hires coaches. And we had to actually sell, not only do we have to sell our programs and what we did, we had to sell the concept of coaching because people were like not bought in back then.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Because I started my first business when I was 18. I've been in business my whole life, and never did it occur to me for years and years and years that there was a coach, to get a
Yeah.
coach, the value of a coach. I totally understand it now and know that I could have used a coach all along. I think everybody can use a coach. Everybody benefits from a mentor that can see things from the outside and look at things a whole different way, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, we call it
Yeah.
being stuck in your jar. Sometimes when you're stuck in your jar, you can't read the label on the outside and other people can read it. And when you have a good coach, they read the label really well so they can help you identify not only what you do, who you are, how you present, how you effectively communicate your business, and really identify the stuff that's getting in your way, your blind spots.
Yeah. It definitely takes somebody outside the jar to see the things for sure. So what made you want to be not a basketball coach to begin with?
Well, I'm only 5'10", so that would have been tough to be a basketball coach. But I I had so many struggles growing up. Um, and I was into drugs. I was borderline alcoholic. My late 30s, I started to have late 20s. Late 20s started to have massive anxiety, panic attacks. I ended up agoraphobic. Um, just tumultuous stuff going on in my life. And I overcame it. I used tools. I used, I sought out help. I found ways to overcome that, and I overcame a lot of fear, and I overcame this massive panic that I lived in my life. And after I did that, it just seemed like the natural progression to then go help other people. Like
Mhm.
I did that. So now that's fulfilling for me. But what did all of that mean? So to bring meaning to it, to bring purpose to it, to bring value to what I went through, it seemed like helping others would be the natural progression in doing that. So that's kind of what I did. I said, hey, I want to help other people. I want to impact their lives. I want to show them how to transform into something more. I want to teach them how to step up. So it became my purpose after that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So you wanted to be the person you needed.
100%. That's the great way to put it. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Well, and when you go through something, Brandon, I think you get to make choices. Everything in life's a choice, pretty much, right? And so you get to make choices and you can choose, I'm going to wallow in this. Like I'm staying down, whatever, or you can get out of it. Those are choices. And then when you're on the other side of it, because you have successfully changed the things that need to change and up leveled your life, then you get to decide what you're going to do with that. Am I going to help people the way I got helped? Do I see things differently than other people see them? Or, am I just keeping all this knowledge to myself? So I greatly admire the fact that that is what you did, that you just had this desire, this heart to then go help people that were in a situation that you knew you could help them get out of. So thanks for doing that. Thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you. I mean, it was selfish to some degree too, because it gave me a lot of significance and it helped me feel like I was contributing to the world. So, um, yeah, it was for me and for everybody else too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, however it came about or however you look at it, I just look at it as pretty selfless really, because you could be doing anything and you're in an industry that your entire goal is to help people. The way that you know you're successful is who are you helping and how are you helping them, right? So you're in a service industry that changes people's lives. And when you work with one person, that one person affects how many people? So there's this wonderful ripple down effect that just elevates what you guys do even more, even higher, because you don't even know the lives that you're touching, the lives that are changing because of the work that you guys do.
Yeah, we always make our goals like we have financial goals and things like that, but our biggest goals are always around how many people we're going to impact.
Yeah.
And that's always been what we've kind of laid our hat on or been um our forte is how many people can we impact?
Yeah, that is so cool. So, Michelle, what made you want to join forces?
Oh, well, I mean, I think I'd reached a point where in my career, well, I didn't love who I was working for. And initially when I kind of came to Brandon and said I wanted to like leave, it wasn't initially a thought about being part of the business so much as it was I just wanted to get out. Um and it was kind of a hard thing to give up. I was making a lot of money, so it was really hard. And for a little while, I kind of fought the whole concept of stepping into the business with Brandon because it always felt like it was Brandon's business. Um, and then things happened that kind of led us so that I mean, I don't believe there are any accidents in life, right? I mean, everything happens for a reason. And um, Brandon got diagnosed with cancer a year after I'd left my job. And it was at that time that I had to kind of really heavily step into the business just because, from a support standpoint and from being able to, just understand everything that was going on. And then 6 months later, COVID happened. And so I think all of these things led us into this direction of you were made to work together. You are supposed to be together. That like I don't think there can be any disputing that this is our soul's purpose, truly, because all of these things transpired within such a short amount of time, our business shutting down because of COVID, um, as Brandon's going through cancer treatments. I think it wasn't so much as it was um, initially, I really want to go work with him, but now like I love everything that we're building together.
Well, let's face it, it's pretty hard to run a business when somebody's curled up in a ball, um, freaked out about whether or not they're going to live or not. So she took charge. She took charge pretty well and came in at a really crucial time.
Mm.
Wow. Wow. So, Brandon, you were young when you were diagnosed with cancer. Like you're not some 90-year-old guy that is being told they have cancer. You're this young guy, and yet whatever the doctor calls or I always picture those moments, those like Lifetime movie moments where, the two of you sitting there holding hands and the doctor delivers the news, which I don't know that that ever actually happens in real life, but hearing that you have cancer that's one of the scariest words anybody can ever say to you.
Yeah.
Totally. It is like the Hallmark movies. I mean, for me, it was all of my certainty just being taken away in an instant and all the what ifs. And I think like I kind of went outside of my body. I mean, it was surreal and it was frightening and it was like it changed everything in that moment. And the crazy thing is, it wasn't Michelle and I in a doctor's office holding hands. It was 7 o'clock at night, a phone call from the physician's assistant
Mm,
uh, after I'd just gone through I think a pretty standard exam. And so yeah, it was delivered in a very hard and difficult way and freaked me out. I literally curled up in a ball and couldn't function for many weeks, many weeks.
wow. Wow. What kind of cancer?
It was prostate cancer. So it was it
Very
was
tough. Yeah.
it's very common with men. It's just the cancer I got at such a young age was super advanced. So not only did I get told, "Hey, you got prostate cancer," which is normally this thing that we're gonna check on here and there and look at. They're like, "Oh, this is like the worst. This is the furthest prostate cancer can go without killing
Mm,
you." So,
wow.
yeah, and we heard from I don't know how many people, "Oh my gosh, you're too young to do that. You're too young to have that. You're too." We got that constantly, especially since it wasn't in my family. Um, it was super rare and super strange and super aggressive. So we had to make some decisions right away. Um, and that was tough. It was tough to make. Some of the decisions could have altered my life in a different way had we made them and not explored different things. Had Michelle not been there and helped me through the whole process, I'm not sure that I would have the quality of life that I have today.
Mm,
uh, because of some of the decisions that doctors wanted to do immediately. Surgery was obviously like the first thing. We scheduled surgery. It was like
Two
we
weeks.
we slowed down. We slowed down the whole process. We got numerous opinions. We Michelle helped me navigate that whole process so that today I have a really, really cool quality of life. And it was just a chapter. And so it doesn't
mm.
continue to create issues or problems like it could have. Um,
Wow, you make so many good points. And go you, Michelle. And yeah, I mean, you need an advocate at a time like that. I got that phone call at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday, so too late to call the doctor's office back and say, "Well, what?" And it was breast cancer, but man, those words are so scary to hear. And I think sometimes people think cancer is cancer is cancer, and it's not. Like there's different kinds of prostate cancer. There is the one that they'll tell your dad, you're going to die from natural causes before this cancer gets you, right? But then there's another kind that's so aggressive that just wants to travel, get outside your prostate, affect other areas of your body, something that you gotta figure out how are you going to nip it. And then the whole decision making thing, like I think if you've never gone through it, you think, well, they'll just tell you what you need to do, like, and then you just do what the doctors say. And you can get five doctors in a room and get five different opinions, and there might be protocol, there's like regular protocol for different kinds of cancers, but some there's not. And some there are all these choices you have to make. And I, I haven't seen a playbook for that, like to even know that you have to make these choices. And then what choices do you make? I mean, those are such big things. So to do it alone, I can't even imagine. So Michelle being there for you and wading through all of that stuff, holy cow, what a blessing. And those kind of things too are things that either draw you closer together or or make things end for you. And so how did it affect the two of you together?
I mean, I think for a lot of it, like during the whole thing, it was really, really good. It brought us closer together. I had a tremendous amount of empathy and was able, I'm really good at being warrior. I can fight for the best of them, What I have a hard time with is when it's more kind of the slowing down and just so after everything was done, I think it kind of caused more problems after the fact than it did during the process. Because there were a lot of things that it led to as well. Like, Brandon talked about his anxiety, and that just kind of got heightened again because of the cancer, understandably. And so things just aren't, I would say probably for the past, I mean, because it's been 6 years now, probably for the past five, it was like, okay, it was good and then it was not good. And then it was good and it was not good. And obviously, that's not black and white, but I do think navigating the whole cancer thing, we were really, really in it together. And I think that was really, really good.
I think
Yeah, well, and
afterwards, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, you go ahead.
Yeah,
And
after
afterwards,
it was like it during cancer, it's like people, oh yeah, you got this cancer, and gosh, it's probably there people have a lot of empathy for it, and they're like, man, it must be hard. And then once you get a clear diagnosis, I think everybody wants you to turn the page and be like, hey, now you're good. And it's like, whoa, you're really not good. Like you have all this
mm,
emotional and mental stuff that comes from that and some trauma and some anxiety. And so for me, it carried over. And then I think I part of being in cancer, I got a lot of attention. And that was good. And I kept wanting that attention, but people are like, hey, you're good now. Like, and it was so there's a whole dynamic around things that once somebody's diagnosed with cancer, it doesn't just end once you get a clean bill or not. It's something that affects you forever and affects things forever and affected Michelle and I in a big way where we had to learn how to reignite our relationship. We had to learn how to do things in a different way. We had to learn how to be together and be interdependent. Where I'd become super codependent, that didn't work. And Michelle was used to being very independent, and that doesn't work. So we had to learn how to create this interdependence within this diagnosis, and it brought us to our knees numerous times. We were challenged in lots of different ways. I think maybe we were close to both saying this isn't how we want to do things. So yeah, it was a whole relationship. It was a whole spiritual um, growth process for both of us.
yeah, yeah, I would imagine that to be true. And yes, it doesn't just end when they say, ah, you're in remission, or hey, we think we got it all. It doesn't end there because it it plays with your head.
Mhm.
I just remember for a long time after, for me, it's been years since I went through my breast cancer stuff. And for a long time after, I'd be like, oh, am I feeling something? Is that something like, should I go to the doctor? Like, you just think, well, what's the next thing? Like this big thing drops in your lap, totally unexpected, like not in the family. You'd never think you're going to be that person, way too young to get it, all that stuff. And if it happens once, it's like, oh, is it going to happen again? And I think people think, oh, why would you even think that way? But it's kind of hard to not. Like there are so many emotions you have to work through to get to kind of the other side of that, where you're not jumping every time you have a little twinge of pain or a little something going on. Did you find that, Brandon, to be true?
Totally, totally. And everybody's got advice, right? It's like sometimes when people are feeling really anxious and people are like, "Well, you should meditate." It's like, do you know how hard it is to stop and meditate when you're being chased by a tiger?
Yeah,
It's
right.
it's not easy to do that, right? And that's kind of like what cancer was like. Just get over it. Like you're clean, you're good, you can do it. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
easier said than done. Easier said than done. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I would think for Michelle, who went through it with you, but it would be hard. I think, Michelle, was it hard for you to understand the lingering? effects of the cancer even after the cancer was gone? Was that difficult to really wrap your head around?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have this part of me that is, what do you,
I said that's a good question. That was a really good question.
I definitely have this part of me that is like, hey, you know, my kids make fun of me all the time because I'm from England, and I will say, "Oh, you're fine. Just rub some dirt in it." I'm like, let's move on. It's time to go because that's kind of how I do things. And so it sometimes it is hard for me to kind of put myself in somebody's shoes. I've had to really, really, really consciously work at doing that with Brandon. Um, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge for me. I have to be really conscious of it all the time. Because otherwise I'm not really showing up for him. And I can still show up for me and show up for him too. But yes, it has been a challenge for me. And it's something that I work on every single day because I know how important it is. I wouldn't want Brandon to be like, okay, we'll just get over it because that would just be so unempathetic. And so I realize that that's not the best thing for me to be doing. But it's still a challenge because it's not how my brain works.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a humongous thing. It's not like just a little, hey, we've been married for 25 years. We had this little bump and nothing changed. It's a big life-changing event. So it's going to change you personally. It's going to change you as a couple. I mean, it has no choice but to
Mhm.
do that. It'd be nice if science were at a point where if they said, hey, you're all clear, you're all set, or you're in remission, or whatever words they decide to use, that somehow they can just wipe it from your memory so that you don't linger in it, whatever. But that hasn't happened. And so it is something you have to deal with. So I would think too, as with a coaching business, that had to up your game. Like you were great before, as your business was great, as far as what you delivered to people. But I would think that you're going to have a whole different appreciation for if there's something physically going on in somebody's life, or they have some other big life altering event. Uh, do you feel like it's changed how you see people or how you coach people at all?
100%. Yeah, I mean it up leveled our game big time. I mean, it not only created a lot more empathy and ability to step into people's world and really find out what's going on with them and have the patience to do that, but it changed the perspective. Like, why am I in this coaching business? Is it to make millions of dollars and build an empire, or is it to contribute and make a bigger impact in the world? And the truth is, it's both. But before, I don't think it was as much both. I think we got lost along the way, and maybe it was more about the money than anything else. And so this always puts things into perspective for us about why we're showing up. And, spiritually, it's taken me to another level because I realized that I'm not just doing this by myself,
Mm.
that there are spiritual forces that are helping along the way, that, God has a play in all this. It's not just me, and it's not just us. It's we're doing this together. And so the ability for us to find, it still boggles my mind how we're able to see things so much clearer about what's going on with somebody, their sabotage, how they're struggling, how to be able to help people shift so much faster. And I think it was an up leveling of our mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual capacity that cancer brought. So I wouldn't want something to. I guess I would when you mentioned Kim taking that part to get rid of the memories in your brain. If that also meant getting rid of the abilities that it gives you, and the gratefulness that it gives you and the ability to serve people at the higher level, I wouldn't want that because without cancer, I don't think we'd serve people at the level we are.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Again, it's like it can't help but affect every area of your life. And, um, but again, you have choices. Is it going to affect it in a good way? Are you using it for positive, or, you crawling under a rock? And it's nice when you can crawl out from under the rock and really shine and use what you've learned. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a matter of whether I crawl into the rock or not. It's a matter of how long I stay under the rock.
Mm,
'Cause I still crawl into the rock all the time. It's just how long do I stay there?
yeah.
Um, how long do you stay victim, right?
When during I don't think we mentioned this, but while Brandon was going through his cancer stuff, we had a son that was on a mission in Chile, and we didn't tell him about Brandon getting a diagnosis. And then when COVID hit, he ended up getting sent home because of COVID, because everything shut down. And when he came home, he actually gave Brandon a blessing. And in his blessing, he said, um, and this is, I believe in divine inspiration, that he said that um that well, I bless you because I know that you have a bigger purpose and that people out there need what you have to say. And it was like sometimes even still that makes me emotional now because it's like, you know, that when you attach a meaning to something that's as hard as having cancer, then it completely transforms and up levels everything in your life. Because how
Mm,
dare you not impact people?
My family,
yeah.
my family, Michelle, my kids, they witnessed me. And I think that was, oh my gosh, witnessing my imperfection, witnessing my vulnerability. I mean, I think that changed the game for everybody in
Mm,
a
yeah.
positive way. Yeah. It caused
Yeah.
love in all of us to expand.
Yeah. Well, and a deeper appreciation for each other. I mean, that can't help but happen, right? Like they don't want to lose their dad, and so they got to appreciate you more whether they tell you or not. And how cool is it that your son is the one that gave you that blessing? That I mean, it just makes it so much more special that it came from him.
Mhm. Yeah, and if you
That's,
would know him too, just the fact that it was this one, because he's the one that was probably the hardest when he was a teenager, like this one, and it's like you see your child and they're, going back full circle to that whole, like you hope that your kids end up being more than you ever were.
Mhm.
Like, yes.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have tears in my eyes thinking about it because I don't know, those kids, they get to us, right? And it's when you see them shine, when you see them do something spectacular, it's like, oh my word, go them. Like, I don't know, did I teach them how to do that? Like, that's amazing when they do something that just blows your mind. That's so cool.
I know. It is. It's why we love being parents.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Those moments are so special. So, okay, so it changes your coaching, changes who you guys are as a couple, who you guys are as a family, and how you relate to each other and how you relate to your clients. Um, what would you say, like, if somebody just is at the beginning of a journey, like the one you guys had to go through, what kind of advice would you give to them?
Mhm.
Michelle, you want to jump in there?
I mean, I think the best thing is just to make sure that you have somebody that has your back. Like, I think that is probably because I think advice is just I don't believe in anything superficial. I really do think that everybody needs somebody that really sees them and is with them through everything. And if you can have somebody who has your back, you can do amazing things.
Mm, that's so good. That is so good.
Yeah,
Brandon, do you
surround
have
yourself
anything?
with the group. Surround yourself with the team of people. Like, let people know, be honest, be vulnerable, be open about it. Um, I think that's important. When we keep secrets, I think that stuff lives in the dark, and I think bringing light to it is really important. So I think communicating and being vulnerable and honest about what's happening is a really, really important piece of this. Um,
Mm,
Get second opinions, get third opinions for sure. Like, and the resilience tools. So we have a smorgasbord of resilience tools that are in the world out there. And I would say, hey, this is as a hero, this is a call to adventure. And when you get a call to adventure, everybody in every hero story always wants to say, no, you got the wrong person. But if you look at it as an adventure and you're being called to an adventure where there's going to be something greater along the way, yes, you're going to go through a road of trials. You're going to go into the abyss. You're going to have to look at all the scary stuff in there, but it's going to grow you as a person um, to another level. So to always remember the statement, how is this helping me grow? How is this helping me learn so that I might be able to serve somebody in the future? I think that was a game changer for me along the way.
Mhm. Wow, that is so good. That's deep. That is really good. Great advice from both of you guys. And so if anybody's out there, just heed the advice because it's really powerful stuff. So why should people work with you? How are you different than other non-basketball coaches out there?
Well, I think what makes us, there's a few things that make us a little bit different. And I'm going to talk about this one just because this is my favorite one, is that we do it together. And I don't think you see very many people out there coaching where you get the perspective of the masculine and the feminine in a way that is how you need to hear it. We both know what our strengths are, and we have clients that come to us for different reasons. And so I think that is a really, really important piece of what we do. I know Brandon has his part that he loves to talk about too. What would you say?
Well, I would say number one, we care. We care about helping people shift. We have the results. So we've worked with over 1 million people over 25 years. We've created over 100 courses that have generated over $10 million. We've done 300 in-person events. We've spoken on 100 plus stages worldwide. We've facilitated over 150 masterclasses and challenges. I think we walk our talk. So I think we've proven the results that we do. We helped so many people create courses in their lives, take them from unhappy to happy, take them from thriving or from surviving to thriving. We've helped them become a master coach themselves. We've helped so many people. We have that, but I think what it all comes back to is, hey, we care. We care about your results. I don't know how many coaching programs I've been part of, a lot, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, where I'm not sure they cared. I'm not sure they cared about getting us the results. I think they cared more about selling it. They cared more about what they were doing, but I don't know if they cared so much about our results as much as we care. And that's the one thing that is my downfall, but also there's a big plus to it is I care what people think a lot and I care about getting them results. I really care about getting them results. And if somebody comes to us and says, "Hey, I didn't get the results," I mean, I'll do anything to avoid that. I'll do anything to avoid that. So we really do care, and we guarantee results for people because I can't live with myself if I can't. I just
Well, but we've also done it enough that we kind of know what to do to get them the results too. So
yeah, we've walked in enough. I mean, there's a longer and harder path, and we've walked it, and we're still here. So I think there's a faster way. There's a quicker path to getting results, whether it's building your coaching business or it's building a course or it's just becoming more resilient. There's a faster way. And Michelle and I can give that to you.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, so much of what you both said definitely separate you from the pack. The fact that you're doing it together, absolutely. Um, it. women and men are different. I saw it on Time magazine one time. They had it right on the cover. And so then now I can tell you it's the truth. Men and women are different. And so we have different perspectives. We come from different places and look at things a little differently. And to have both perspectives is gigantic. I think that's huge. Your track record obviously speaks for itself. And the fact that you do care and you guarantee, nobody guarantees results. I mean, I think probably I've been involved in lots of programs too, and spent a whole lot of money. And it's like, well, here's a program. When it's over, it's over. If you did something with it, fine. If you didn't, well, you got some notes to take home, and that's about the extent of it. But to say no, you're really going to get results. Something will shift in your mind. There will be a transformation. We will make sure that that happens. We are capable of making sure that that happens. That's gigantic. I mean, it's true of 1% of people. I mean, I think it's seriously a low percent of coaches that are looking at things the way you guys look at it and have such deep concern and care for the people that you work with.
We do, but the other part of it is that I have to admit it's because I care so much about what other people think, which is my own codependence that makes us really good at that too. So I got to say some of it is selfish because if someone walks away saying I didn't get results, it's like I feel like I'm being totally like discounted. And so I can't live with that. I can't live with that. So it's a little bit selfish too. I can't give all the credit to.
Well, but I also think that that's one of the things that we teach in our coaching, and that, something that you may not think is a good trait is probably something that makes you stand out from the crowd, right? And so anything that you've got, even if you don't think it's like a bonus, is probably your gold. Like, so we really help people identify things that make them different and to use those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Greatest,
Oh, yeah, that's so good. Go ahead, Brandon.
greatest weaknesses are your greatest strengths, right? I don't think we fully understood that until maybe the last 5 years. We've really, really tapped into that in a big way.
Yeah, well, and it goes back to the pickle jar, that you can see in others what they can't see in themselves. And that it's a strength, not a weakness, or that it's something that does separate you from the pack. And so that's so cool. I think, in business, when you're in business and you're doing it, it's like, well, everybody does it this way. Everybody thinks this way. Everybody knows this stuff. And the truth is that it's not the truth. Everybody doesn't think and know and do things the same way. And so I love you guys, the way that you approach things and the way that you do things, and helping so many people. Man, that is just so amazing. So what does your life look like right now? Like, uh, do you get to ever be home? Do you get to go out for dinner sometimes? Like, what does life look like?
Yeah, I feel like we've been pretty good about really creating a space where we get to do that. Like, our relationship is really important, and we do spend a lot of time together. Like, we recently have been doing a lot of hiking. We do, we love to travel. We don't And now we're empty nesters, like just as of the last month. So it's been kind of a transition. It's been a little bit more like, oh, there's just us two in the house. Like it's kind of weird, but we definitely get to spend a lot of time together, and we are pretty intentional about that.
There's a
Yeah.
there's a statement I heard once where somebody said, "Hey, like if you want to make a lot of money in the coaching world, in the coaching business, you have to automate." And I always believed, oh my gosh, if you automate, you're cheating people. If you automate, you're cheating the world. You have to show up in person. You have to be there. You have to be there the whole time, walk through them, through everything. And so I was always against this automation thing. But what I realized is I kept painting myself in a corner. So I couldn't go on a hike. I couldn't go do the things with my kids. I was stuck. I was on Zooms 24/7. I mean, it was like I was tied to this business instead of business creating freedom. And what Michelle and I have realized over the last couple of years is that there's a lot of things you can automate. There's a lot of things that you can have done for you. There's a lot of ways to automate your business in a way that you can still provide massive amounts of value. And I think we've learned how to do that. And that's what we teach people to do is how to automate their business in a healthy way, automate their coaching businesses, automate their businesses in a way that still shows up and serves people in big ways, but that allows them a lot more freedom as well. And I think we found the secret or magic sauce to that. So we get to go on hikes and we get to hang out with our kids and we get to go on vacations and we get to go to the movies and we get to do all these things and we get to hang out on Saturday together and go to a market and we get to do these things in our life because we've learned how to balance the two. Because there's one way, and it's painting yourself in a corner until you get sick because you're working with so
Mhm.
many people and you're stressed out of your mind,
Mm.
or you work in a way that's smarter and more effective and more efficient and does have some automation, but also some personal touch to it as well that becomes really effective. And I think we found a really good balance.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, and I would think with automation, it also multiplies the number of people you're able to help.
Totally.
Mhm.
And so, if you're just one on one, there are so many hours in a day, and you can't buy more hours in the day. But when you are able to automate in the right way, like you said, in the right way, you have to do it right. But when you can, it's really multiplying yourself. And who doesn't want a clone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we realized when our customers didn't need another product, when our clients in the world didn't need another product, but they need a new way to do things, they needed a new identity. It changed everything for us and how we
Wow.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit more. I like that.
The identity being, hey, I have to just be this hard worker and overwhelmed. I think what I did in my life and what I find other people do is if we get really overwhelmed, that we almost welcome that because if we're overwhelmed and we're working hard, we have value. If I'm exhausted at the end of the day, if I had to give up this and I had to give up that and I had to do all these things and I'm sacrificing all these things, then I'm of value, then I'm of worth. If I'm busy, if I'm so my knuckles are bloodied and my I have a headache and I can barely walk, then I have value and worth. I did something. I achieved. And I think there's the different way is wait, that's not it. The way is
Mm,
how can I impact more people utilizing the tools and skills to do that? How can I use services? And it's really working higher instead of harder. How can I use the resources that are out there to be more effective with people and just work smarter? And I think letting go of the concept of I have to work hard to have value.
mm,
Um, I have to achieve to be happy instead of, hey, I want to happily achieve. Like
mm.
that model is a different model.
It
Mm.
is a completely different. It's a mind shift. Yeah,
Totally.
that's cool. That's good. Yeah, yeah. There to me that it's like that's how I was raised, right? Like the harder you work, the more hours you put in. You're first one in the office, you're the last one to leave. You're working harder than anybody else. You do anything it takes, to make things work. And it's hard to have any balance in your life. And when you're not balanced, nothing in your life is good. Work isn't good, home isn't good, nothing is good. So for you guys to figure out how people can kind of have their cake and eat it too is amazing, which also sets you apart from other coaches. So that's so cool. So okay, you guys, what is a piece of advice? We're unfortunately running out of time. I could talk to you forever. So what is, a piece of advice that you just want to give, or maybe somebody gave you at some point in time that you're like, oh my gosh, I will hang on to that forever.
Mm. You, you go.
Tell.
You go.
Oh, uh, breathe. Probably
Mm.
the best advice I've ever given, breathe. But really, and I guess that is like stop and breathe because I don't, and my
You,
nervous system
oh,
is
hold your
affected.
breath.
My whole world is impacted by that. But um, fear, it is the price of passion. That you will have fear, you will have discomfort, you will have problems, you will have struggle, you will have issues. Um, and the goal isn't to try to avoid those. The goal is to welcome those. The goal is to welcome them in because they make you stronger, because they make you better, because it it up levels you and upgrades you in so many different ways. So I don't have to try to get out of stuff anymore. I don't have to get rid of anxiety. I don't have to get rid of stress. I don't have to try to get out of a certain emotion or a certain place, that I get to embody it and learn from it and grow in it. And I think that's the best advice, but the hardest thing I've had to do.
Wow.
And
Wow.
breathe. And breathe.
Breathe. Yeah. Yeah. That's so good. Michelle, do you have something?
Yeah, and I would say for me, a game changer is when I look at somebody and um, I allow myself to look for what's good in them. I know Brandon kind of did this before, but I always try and focus on love. Like whenever I know that love changes everything. And so for me, when I'm in a space of love, loving myself, loving others, it completely changes how I interact with the whole world. And I think it has to start with loving yourself and accepting every part of you, even the things that you don't think are amazing. And when you do that, it makes it easier to love everybody else. And I think love is the answer for most things.
Mm, I love that. That's so good. Oh, you guys, this has been so fun. And you've dropped some real gold. I appreciate you guys so much. How can people get in touch with you?
So they can go to our website. We have just rebranded and we are now Brandon and Michelle Barber.com. And on there, there'll be an opportunity for them to get a free gift that we will have some resilience tools if they want to figure out some resilience tools, as well as find out some of the other things that we've got going on. So, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. And we'll have that in the show notes. So take advantage of that, everybody. Like, free was a word that I heard in there, which who doesn't want free? But also knowing Brandon and Michelle like you do after hearing them, you know that their tools are going to be amazing. So take advantage of that and go on their site and get the stuff that you guys have. And I'm sure on there too, there's ways to work with you. They can look around the site and figure all that out. So that's really cool. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Kim.
Kim. Thank you.
Kim. We love
This
your book. We
Yeah.
love your book.
Yeah. Thanks.
Love your book. We love your story.
Well, thanks. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, thank you all too for being here today. And I just want to say, until we see each other again, that you keep your heart open and live your love loud.
Hmm.